Hello, welcome to Family Movie Night, where we'll talk about what we watch for Family Movie Night. I'm Mike, and today we'll be talking about Coraline. Now, Coraline is the 2009 movie from Leica Studios, which is their first feature-length film. So that's cool. I didn't realize that when I first saw it, but I'm very familiar with Leica now, so it was cool to see that this was definitely the start of something extraordinary for them. But the premise of this is wandering in her rambling old house in her boring new town, an 11-year-old Coraline discovers a hidden door to a strangely idealized version of her life. In order to stay in this fantasy, she must make a frighteningly real sacrifice. So I had seen this because this was one of the Blu-rays that I had ever bought. And one of the cool things about it is that there was a version of this that was 3D. And one of the things that was cool about the 3D is that the images really popped out at you, particularly the scene with the tunnel. That's the thing that I remember distinctly as being like the key difference, along with the circus scenes. But the thing is that the 3D takes away a lot from the color and just how dynamic everything looks. So it's a bit of a bummer in that respect, but at the same time, it's kind of nice to note that there is actually a little bit of everything for both formats. However, upon rewatch of this, watching this with my kids, you realize, man, this is a really messed up movie. However, it's also outstanding. It's still really good and it still really holds up. So, some of the things that I noticed this time or this most recent time watching this is the animation style is just absolutely gorgeous. It's it's got the like the stop motion and everything like that that looks great. The set design and the character work just looks so gothic in a lot of ways that it makes it look really unique. And the distinct difference between the quote unquote real world and the other world, with the other world having all these bright colors, all these really cool features, but then you have the real world, which is very drab, very monotone. Yeah, it's kind of like the contrasting between the difference of your imagination versus what is actually going on in your life. So one of the cool things I noticed this time around as well is I noticed a lot more of the performances because since this movie is pretty old, I mean, it's what, 15 years old now? Jesus, it's 15 years old. So 15 years ago, I didn't really notice how a lot of the character work is actually really strong in this. Like Dakota Fanning at this time, she was really young, so she didn't really have a whole lot that she could hang her hat on in terms of performance. And for someone that young to do something so incredibly well with with a performance, that's astonishing to me. So that was really great. But Terry Hatcher and Keith David were two characters that for me kind of stole the show a little bit. And Terry Hatcher in particular is just menacing in all the right ways. In the real world, she's somebody who just seems like a bit of a distant parent, somebody who's kind of just, maybe not so much focusing on her child right now, but focusing on, just building this new life in this new town, and everything like that. In the other world, Terry Hatcher is somebody who is just she's manipulative. She comes up with ways that people will trust her, and she's a smooth talker. That is just things that in a good villain that you definitely need to have. And with Keith David plays the cat, and the cat is an integral part of this whole movie because if without that cat, we have no connection between the real world and the other world, and somebody who has experience in both realms, and that can kind of guide Coraline through this whole thing. Now, I watched this with Gwen and I guess Mimi as well, and Gwen didn't really understand it. She thought it looked visually cool, but it kind of scared her at some points, particularly all the parts that have to do with button eyes. She didn't really understand what was going on, but she thought it looked cool, and she thought Coraline was a fun character to follow as the main character. So, all the things about parenthood in here and children's relationship with their parents and how sometimes the grass isn't always greener on the other side, and parents, although they may not be treating you exactly the way you want to be treated, they have, for the most part, rhyme or reasons for what they're trying to tell you to do. That those all resonated with me a lot more 15 years later. One, because I'm a parent, and two, I'm looking for those things in a movie now. And Gwen's not, and that's fine because Gwen is just looking to be entertained. And was she entertained? Yes, absolutely, she was entertained. A lot of the things with like the ghosts and just everything in the other world, some of that stuff kind of flew over her head, and that's fine. I would rather that she be entertained by a movie right now as opposed to having to think about the implications of some of the things that were going on. So, on our scale, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs middle, I give Coraline a thumbs up. It definitely holds up. It's still definitely a great movie. So definitely check it out. What did you think of Coraline? Let us know. And just kudos to the creative team behind it, particularly Henry Selick, who does a fantastic job, double dipping as writer and director for this. So if you get the chance, definitely go see Coraline and support non-Disney studios who are doing great work with animation, particularly stop motion. Leica's got a lot of great movies, so I encourage everyone to check more of them out. That's going to do it for this episode of Family Movie Night. Be sure to like, rate, and subscribe to anything and everything SPDM Crew wherever you get your podcast. Join us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads, YouTube, and Blue Skies at SPDM Crew or at SPDM Crew. Check out our website soon to be out at spdmcrew.com. Follow us on Letterboxd at MLHilty2452 and follow our list labeled Family Movie Night. Shout out to HiFlyer Creative Studios for making our awesome logo. Greatly appreciate their support. And if you have any marketing logo or brand standard needs, contact them at HiFlyerCreative.com. If you've got a podcast idea or you're interested in being part of the SPDM crew as a guest or collaborating, email us at spdmcrew@gmail.com. Until next time, happy watching, friends.